Okay, so in this video, we are going to discuss 7 habits of highly effective media buyers. So, over the last 10 years, I have been into performance marketing, managing ads from $1 million budgets to 100,000 budgets to brands who are just starting out. And I've seen it all. Right now, we have agency where we have dozens of media buyers managing thousands and hundreds of thousands of ad budget every single day. And with that, I needed to create a cohesive theory on what makes an effective media buyer. So I could easily spot the traits of a media buyer who is getting better and better, and what separated the media buyers which are extremely good at their job and which are not. And with that, I've written this 7 habits, and I'm going to walk you through them. And if you have these habits, and if you are trying to be media buyer, or if you're trying to find a good media buyer for you, having these habits in a media buyer or developing these habits make you a very, very effective, very competent media buyer. Because when it comes to media buying, it's not just knowing the know-hows. Like, that's the easiest part, actually. It's developing these habits. It's training your brain unconsciously to get competent. And so you do these habits almost unconsciously as you see a trigger and you act on the routine, which is of a effective media buyer. And these are 7 habits. I'm going to walk you through one by one in detail. I encourage you to watch it till the end. And if you do, you will gain a lot of value and you will never waste any money on media buying, ever. And you will grow into a extremely competent top 0.001% media buyers very fast, right? And with that, let's begin. Okay, as you can see my screen here we have Sentinel Code of Conduct. So habit number 1, you gotta be obsessed with ROAS and revenue. Now, these are all the 7 habits that you can see, and I'm gonna walk you through in detail. Not too much detail, but briefly over the details, right? So number 1 thing is you gotta be obsessed with revenue and ROAS. As a media buyer, you are like a hedge fund manager, right? You have to know what's the AUM you have, assets under management, and what's the ROI you're getting, what's the ROAS that you're getting here. And you gotta always be on top of the numbers. Now, unlike daily traders which lose their mind every single day or every single hour, you cannot have that. You don't have the luxury to lose your mind and go through that up and down cycle, which crazy people do. What you do is you keep track of the L4, last 4-day revenue and last 4-day ROS, and where that day-by-day trajectory is heading. So every day you can look L4 revenue and L4 ROAS. So you know where are we headed, where the trajectory is heading. Are the numbers improving or the numbers are going bad, right? Never on the day-to-day fluctuations. And you track them in your logbook every single day without exception, even on Sunday, right? Now, if the revenue or ROAS drops, here you gotta be a bit clear, but is if the revenue ROAS is trajecting towards a drop, right? And then you identify the cause, inform your senior manager and in the chat so they can proactively inform the clients, and you log the fix in your GChat or in the logbook, right? Now, always have a clear backup plan to increase the revenue and the ROAS. That's also very important. Stagnation is a failure. Like if you have achieved 4.5x and the revenue is steady, this just stale water goes deadly. So you have to always be looking for new ideas, new creatives, new strategies, new exclusion lists to maximize the revenue and the ROAS. And Meta could have fluctuations. Don't be like, oh, today my ROAS went down, or no. Today ROAS could go down. Tomorrow also ROAS could down. But if the trajectory is going down, have a backup campaign ready to go in the ABO that you just there, written there as a contingency plan, you turn it on to offset the drop in revenue and ROAS, right? And if revenue and ROAS aren't improving week by week, you are not doing your job. So this is the number one thing. You are a performance marketer and you get measured on revenue and ROAS. If you're not improving these numbers week by week, it means only one thing: you're not doing your job. Next up we have is data-driven intuition, not feelings. Now, whenever an ad set goes ups and down or sideways, we like to make narrative or theories in our head. Oh, it's because of that, or it's because of that. Before you let your brain make any kind of narrative or any kind of conclusion, you'll hunt for data. And when you're hunting for data, you ignore the bad data. Because if you look at bad data, you're going to make bad decisions. So always prioritize having the most cleanest, the most highly validated data to make decisions on. And ensure tracking is accurate. Ensure all the RLX column structures, attribution is accurate. Ensure catalog is well synced and is most up to date. Ensure there are no event missing in the CAPI or there are no events duplicated. And make sure you decide with structured data. You want to track all the metrics from unique clicks to unique click-through rates and the unique orders. You want to track ROAS, you want to track CTR, that also is unique. And you want to track CPM, AOV, hold rate, ATC, and CAC across multiple time frames. Last 1 day, last 3 days, last 7 days, last 15 days, last 30 days to spot trends early. So what you're doing is you're seeing where the puck is going, right? Where these trends are going. And you want to anticipate where the trends are going. And if the trends are going in the bad direction, which you do not want, you want to proactively take action to avoid that. And the only way you can proactively change the direction of the trajectory is by you looking at the data which is clean and right. If you look at the data which is bad, has any margin of error, your decisions will also have margins of error. So you cannot afford that luxury. Not afford the luxury, it will be highly unethical thing to do. It will be criminal to look at bad data and make a decision. So make an effort to find the cleanest data. Check the tracking, check everything, and ensure you're looking at the most clean data before you make any decisions, before let your brain think of any conclusion. Right? Now, so whenever you make any adjustment, make sure it is justified. So if you want to scale the winners, you want to scale it by a defined percentage. Like if the ad is new, you can scale by 20%, 30%, even 40, 50%. And if the ad is old, you only can scale by 5%, maybe 10%. That too every other day. And also, you want to cut losers accordingly. And it could be creative, it could be the ad set, it could be campaign. And you want to diagnose if any campaign of any ad set is underperforming. And you want to diagnose what is the root cause and perform a structured analysis on that ad. So you want to analyze the creative, you want to analyze the audience, and you want to figure out what are the hypothesis is and why it's not working. Now, whenever you do a test, do not do random bullshit test. Oh, I'm just testing this creative. I'm just testing this product, right? Have a test with a specific goal, like overarching goal that ensures that even if the test wins or fails, you do not lose. You win either way. And have a specific hypothesis, have measurable outcomes. Random testing is also a failure. It's also criminal. You cannot do random test. I see a lot of new media buyers come like, I'm testing the audience, I'm testing the creators. That's very, very unprofessional. The way you do test actually defines what kind of success that you can achieve. So, moving forward, have a plan to test. So, I want to see if we take our best creative and remove the product, which is the one we are showing, and replace it with the product which is average selling, which has a little bit higher cost per purchase, right? Or double the cost per purchase, and see if this creative format is the one that is really resonating with the audience, or is it just the creative format, right? And you just isolate one variable. The moment you isolated two variables and you're testing two things in one test, that's not a test. Well, that's a bullshit. That's a bullshit. That's not a test. You can only test one thing at a time. And you'll be like, oh, there are so many tests I need to do. How can I test only one thing? So use your brain. What is the most important thing to test? And then test that. You don't have to test everything. What thing you're unsure about that you can quickly test to unlock a different revenue and different ROAS. And that's it. That's not a rocket science. If you have like couple of creatives making 10 lakh each, consistently at 3x ROAS, and you want to be absolutely sure, is it the creative or the product? What? You run a test where you isolate you keep everything exact same, but you change just one thing. You just change the product and keep everything the exact same. And the other test, what you do is you keep everything the same and just change one thing. You just change the creator. You keep the product same and everything. And that way you can be sure that was it the product or was it the creative? And you test one thing in a test. You do not test two things. Yeah. Number 3, operate from baselines, no blind running. So every brand you're managing or every brand or account that you have taken hold of, you should know these numbers from the back of your hand. If you do not, it is a crime to not know them. So you should always know what is the CAC, what is the AOV, and what is the ROS, the back of your mind, because every decision starts here. Like how much we are spending to get a sale. That is the most important metric. And what is the average order value? And with that, you can also little bit know some idea of ROAS. What's ROAS is at? And yeah. So if you memorize these numbers, so every time you're looking at the ads, you're looking at the trends, it's easier for you to know what's going on very quickly. Or you'll be wasting times comparing and figuring out, are we going up or are we going down? And it can become really, really complicated. So you want to know these numbers like the back of your mind, and you want to memorize them, right? And as you're writing them every day on your logbook, it should become second nature for you. Okay, what's next up? You want to measure every action, every scale, pause, rebalance, cut, adjust ads based on clear deviations from baselines. So you want to know that this ad, CAC from L3, L7 to L1, significantly increased. Based on that, I have decreased the balance by 35%, right? And I took the creative and relaunched it in a different audience with exclusions to last 30-day audience. So yeah, you want to be absolutely clear what was the trend, where it was projecting, and how you acted. And whenever you test with purpose and act decisively. If the test was statistically significant and you figured out like it was a product which is a winner, not the creative, not the influencer, and not the audience. It is the product which is just has a broader appeal, right? And then you want to act decisively. You do not want to act like, okay, so I figured that out, now I can launch this test at a lower or budget to, test the waters more. No. You want to be aggressive there. Okay. Fourth is double check everything. It costs nothing. Now, mistakes are client killers. So again, this is for our internal team. We have a very less tolerance for bullshit mistakes. And you do not want to make mistakes at all. Like when you're managing this large ad account, sometimes meta could fluctuate. You saved the draft, it did not got saved properly. And there were cookies or there was some Wi-Fi issue and there could be gazillions of issues, like which is not of your hand. So before publishing, make sure you check every single thing, every single link, every single audience, every single checkbox again before you publish it. And you want to catch them before they destroy trust or the ROAS. Sometimes Meta will do is it'll turn on the multi-purpose ads in the ad settings automatically. And every time you publish and you edit the ad, you make any kind of edit, Meta will turn it on. Now, this metaphorical intrusive activity is very bad for the ROAS. Same with the creatives. So Meta has these advantage creative optimizations, which are absolutely nightmare, and Meta is promoting them like hell. And what it can do is it can just rearrange the creative, it can rearrange the text in the creative, it can generate AI images in the background, which are very bad. It can mess up the headline and the primary text. So it can make a lot of changes without approval. And so you want to make sure you're turning them off every time you edit it. And you double check everything. Right? Next is you want to kill, fix, reallocate budget. Underperformance should never be ignored. That goes without saying. Confirm ad spend approvals, website, and account health every evening. So sometime what will happen is Meta will shadow ban the page because some idiot reported it for some random reason. Maybe competition reported it or there was some angry customer. Now, when that happens, then account health goes down and the overall performance starts to go stagnant. So, with that, this is a. So, you always want to check the account health and you always want to check the page performance. You want to check the CPM. These things every evening because anybody who reports the Instagram ad or Facebook ad or any platform ad, right, it affects overall CPM of the brand, right? And if the ad account health is going down, whether it's a brand's mistake or there was some angry targeted attack on the brand, whatever there was, right, it impacts the ROAS, so it impacts our job, right? And you want to be on top of these things as well. Even though they don't seem in your job or in your competence or in your responsibilities. But remember the habit number 1. You are obsessed with the revenue and ROAS. So account health affects the revenue and ROAS. So that falls into your job as well. To proactively check them and proactively keep on top of the things that how is the account health? How is the page reputation with the Meta? Right? Now, why you want to double check everything? Because small errors are very easy to catch. But once they have gone live, they are extremely expensive to fix because ad set had this initial condition set up. It entered the bidding. It has scored some placements. It started optimizing. Now, whenever you're going to figure out there was a big mistake that went live. Now, all the ad spend from the day it went live to the day you found out that change. This ad spend has been just complete burn. Right? And that's just unacceptable. So, double checking everything is an extremely important habit of a effective media buyer. Right? We're at the number 5th now. So we have more than the halfway. Now, Taking initiatives. Now, this one is obvious one. Now, media buyer is a performance role, right? And you are getting paid by the performance, and you cannot be. You can never be like I'm content with the performance. The moment you think you're content with the performance, you'll start to stagnate in your growth, and the brand will start to stagnate in its growth. So it's a hard thing, but you have to keep in mind that waiting is losing. Like if you like, I'm waiting for client for to create the creatives. I'm waiting for these ads to pick up. No, you want to be moving, right? Because there are another media buyers who is gonna not wait, who's gonna take action and outbid you, right? And outplace you. So there is a silent war, you can say, between you, the media buyer, and all the other media buyers of the world for that placement, right? And who is going to get that placement? That depends on that media buyer's initiatives, right? So do not wait, always be on the attack, and not just like making random changes in the ad account, but always planning, moving, and figuring out what's going on and how we can do better. Another thing is that no surprises. Your superior CPM should never need to ask for performance. If something changes, you already flagged it. You already told the CSM that let the client know. Client should never have to inquire. So if you're working with any brand or you're working with clients, you want to proactively let them know what's going on with the account. The person should ever inquire with you. So what's going on with the performance? And then you pull something in the moment. That should never happen. You should be actively inquiring everybody what's going on. Then is like if you are stuck, you can ask the Sentinel AI, or if you don't have Sentinel AI, you can ask GPT, and then CSM. And asking lazy questions for attention, or asking a lazy question to senior media buyers or CSM signals and competence, right? Like I said, there are no dumb questions. There are only lazy questions. So you can ask as many dumb questions as you want, but never ask lazy questions. Lazy questions are questions you could have just asked Google, or you could have just asked the GPT, like simple ones. Act with urgency. You want to be always be scaling the winners, proactively killing the losers, pivoting fast. Now, this is a bit, I would say, depending on person to person. If you are a newbie, I would not say you can pivot in hours. But if you are experienced, you can. So take it with a grain of salt. It's a bit of advanced thing to be able to make decisions with hours, right? Another, no corporate dodgeball. Handle it, don't deflect it. If something breaks, it's your problem until it's fixed. No blame tennis. If the ball is in your court, you hit it. So you just be decisive. Don't try to dodge something. I did not got the message on time. Just be a good person, good ethical person, and try to contribute, try to create value, and handle the situation. If ad account ran out of funds, which is or payment did not go through, which is probably the biggest thing killing brands in India. The biggest virus there is payment getting stuck. That's actually destroying accounts in India. It's a plague. So if you figure out that at 2 a.m. that payment got stuck, just call the client immediately. Do not wait. Just call it. Do whatever you need to do. Take proactive, preventive measures. Cause payment getting stuck, it's gonna kill the account for another week. It's a serious thing. Next up is that relentless upgrades, evolve or be outdated. Now, You have to understand you are at a war. Let me say that with the. You have to understand you are on a war with all the media buyers in the world for that one placement that you want to show. For each placement that you want to show, you are at a war. Right? There it is. Because every media buyer wants your convergence. They want your traffic. They want you in. So you want to always be stay ahead or you'll get left behind. Our Loxians weren't built to just compete. They were built to dominate. Right? Finding winners is table stakes. Pesarese. Understanding why they win and how you scale to infinity and dominate, that's the main thing. Look, if you are starting out, my philosophy has kind of bit changed on this. So if you're starting out, you do not have to understand everything. You gotta do. Whatever we tell you, you gotta do, take action. You get results. And later on, you can try to understand why this worked. Right? Trying to understand why it worked when you're just starting out is a very slow process. So you come into Alex will just teach you how you're going to do this. If you do this, this will happen. And you do this and you'll experience a result, right? And if the result was not that which you wanted, we'll give you feedback and then you do a different action and then you get a different result, right? Now, in this process that we have here, right? What really happening is that you're developing contextual information, right? Understanding why this happened, right, is going to be a bit hard. It's going to be challenging. If I tell you like why the two opposite poles of magnet repel each other. And I can explain all the electromagnetic theory, they're repelling each other, they're repelling each other, why they're repelling each other. If you have not experienced it, if you have not held the magnets together, you saw the repel, and you flipped it, you see it attract, and you got a bigger magnet, and you build this bridge of magnets and everything, right? If you have not experienced with them, played with them for a bit, it's a bit hard for you to understand. So initially you want to just act. And understanding comes later on. Let's go back. Another thing is that you do not want to stuck chasing trends. Oh, this is in the AI is in the trend. Why? You do not follow, you set the pace. You want to always, because trend is there's still a lot of testing that need to be done before it becomes really useful. And we're gonna let the testing to be done by people who have free time and free budgets, right? You hunt down data-backed winners between accounts and scale before anybody else can see, right? You're always hunting for what's winning, what creative, what hook concept, what hook line, what visual, what's working. You want to always be on top of that. And you always want to know which ads are really pushing 7 or 8x ROAS at a higher budget and at a higher volume.